This is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofit and community organizations that make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. on Comcast Xfinity Channel 190 and at the Matthews Broadcast YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support.
Hi, I'm Mayor Baraka of Newark, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. This holiday season, remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
This holiday season, remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
Welcome back to the Matthews broadcast. We are joined in this segment with the one and only Herb Parker. He is a retiree of the Harman Kardon Company, which automobile enthusiasts will know as a company who provides just amazing sound and other technology in your automobile. When you see the Harman Kardon logo, you know that you are operating with quality. I'm joined in this segment by Hope Houston, our newest co-host in the Central Jersey area. She's going to join me to ask Herb a few questions, and I am going to start off by asking Herb, with the company that you worked with, how many countries did you get an opportunity to visit over the years as a Harman Kardon executive?
That's an interesting question. First of all, thanks for inviting me here. I'm very happy to be here. It's a good question because as a young man, I did start to keep up with the number of countries, and I think I got up to 30-something, so I estimate that it must be about 40 right now.
So with Harman Kardon, you visited 40 countries? No,
I started with ABB, and that's when I met Ralph Henderson, and I went to most of those countries at ABB because I worked with them for 28 years. Then I went to Harman International later, the last 9 years was with them, and I visited a few more, but most of them were with ABB.
Now, for those of us who have not gone to Switzerland, what is ABB?
It's Assel Brown Boveri is what is the real name, but they officially go by ABB Limited. They're a company similar to Siemens. Only difference in ABB and Siemens, ABB does not sell any products to consumers, but all the other power plants is very similar. Very large company located in Switzerland, where they were basically run by the Swedish people at the beginning, and the headquarters in Switzerland, but now they're truly international. The management's from all countries.
And Herb, let's just get some perspective here. I know what your friend Ralph Henderson has told me, but I heard that you had a large number of people who reported to you. So at your most senior level, right, how many divisions or how many people reported directly to your office or were in or under the scope of your control in the organization at Harman Kardon?
Well, I was the chief financial officer, so I was in charge of all the finances and investments of the company. And then within our group, I would have like 15 direct reports. Then outside of that, there would be another 300 within the organization. But normally look at it as the budget we're managing. So more, at the last end, Harman was about a $7 billion company, and it was eventually bought by Samsung for $8 billion in March of 2017.
So you're saying that Harman Kardon trusted you, a brown man, with $7 billion whole dollars of its resources. Let's put this in perspective. How did you become the chief financial officer at Harman? What steps did you take to get there, Herb?
Well, first I was a major in accounting, and then I also worked in internal audit. And I would say one of the keys was that I was very open to relocating into anywhere in the world. First of all, from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Connecticut, then from Connecticut to Australia, Australia to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to Switzerland, and Switzerland back to the U.S. Most people are not willing to move. And if you're open to moving and relocating anywhere, but especially international, then it gives you a chance of being promoted goes up exponentially higher.
You see that, Ralph? From Tennessee to the world. See, I was trying to tell you, right, to follow Herb, Tennessee to the world. But, on that journey, Herb, was there ever a time that, your perspective, all that globe trotting, that you found yourself asking the question, how am I providing value? How is my leadership changing this company? Tell me what you learned as you moved to all those places, because certainly a unique perspective. Not many of us get an opportunity to do what you've done.
Yes. So at a young age, I always liked helping people. I always wanted to be a leader. I was a sports player, played football, basketball, baseball, but I also wanted to be a leader in everything else. So as I went through my career, I really liked to listen to people and understand what their issues were. I would try to help them. I would be honest, but also very fair whenever I spoke to anyone. So I learned it kind of enhanced or just confirmed what I thought I knew growing up with the values I had from my mother and father. So as I went around the world, whether it was in China, Australia, Switzerland, whatever, managing people are basically the same. And so it kind of confirmed that was right. Occasionally I would hear people say, you don't need that kind of person. They wouldn't work in China. They wouldn't work in Australia. And I would say it shouldn't be that way. It should be able to work anywhere. But in America, sometimes we tolerate those certain type of people. And my wife, who's a Brazilian, and she used to tell me sometime, that guy's a typical American. And at first it bothered me, because I kind of, as an American, I like that. But one day I heard this loud American, you know who they are, screaming and talking like they're arrogant and know everything. And I realized, oh, she's right. But I would not tolerate those typical Americans, so I didn't know what she was talking about until that time. So I just tried to be very fair with people and very little tolerance with people that are not fair.
I got it. And so I'm going to ask Hope Houston to jump right in here.
Yes, there are a couple
and
questions.
share a couple of questions with you, Herb.
There are a couple questions that I do want to ask, especially because you are retired. You have a plethora of information to lend to those of us out here. So what advice or golden nuggets would you give to new business owners today?
Okay. I think the new business owners, I would give the same advice I would give to people that are trying to thrive in the world of corporation. I always have this rule, sort of a motto, say, learn the rules of the game, learn the guidelines, then play to win. A lot of times people like to set their own rules. And I say, it's not important, and don't get your ego involved. You may not like the rules, but find out what they are, and then you find a way to win. So, in other words, I always tell young people that if you went to a neighborhood and everyone wore blue shoes, you would think it's cool. It was, let's call it a black neighborhood. But if you went to the corporation and everyone said, you don't wear a mustache or you don't wear a beard, you think you're selling out. I say, you do what you want at the beginning. Now, after you've been there a while, you do what you want. So I tell people I can do anything I want now because I've been there long enough. But at the beginning, I would not. So my advice in anything is finding the rules of the game. And it sounds simple, but a lot of people don't. They try to really create their own rules. And if that is the rule, it doesn't matter whether you like them or not. Right. You just find a way to navigate and win through that.
I find that sounds like a really difficult situation when it comes to our young people today.
Exactly.
Our young people today are not as willing.
Yes.
So that might work for them if perhaps we put it in another realm in which they can understand. They're almost different people entirely. How would you reach a younger audience?
Okay, this is the way I explained it earlier about being brutally honest with people. I tell them, not everyone wants to succeed. So what I tell young people is that if your goal of success is just being happy and having enough money to get by, that's fine. But if you want a lot, you've got to be willing to work for it. It's that simple. So I do not try to give them any false illusion they can do it another way. I just simply say that if, for example, if you're not willing to relocate, if you're not willing to play the rules, Don't get upset if your friend that you are much smarter than did a lot better.
Right.
Everyone has their own terms of what they consider success.
Yes.
So I like to tell them that a lot. I love that discussion with young people. I say what they have what I call champagne taste, but beer work habits.
Yes.
Champagne taste and beer work habits. All right.
Well, that's wanting everything now, and I attribute that to our MTV and so many others that show us the upside to things without the hard work.
Yes.
And it becomes very difficult because they don't show you everything they've done over the last 10 or 15 years to get where they are. And that causes a great difficulty when you want to give a reality base of what it's going to take to be successful. Mm-hmm. So with that, in mind, what do you attribute your success to?
It's hard to put it to one thing. I would say that, I always think about these things, how everyone's raised in the same household, but they're different. I've got brothers and sisters, but we're different.
Yes.
I watched my mother and father, I guess, more than they did, because my father was an auto mechanic, worked in the factory, but he was a proud person. He respected people that had done well, but he didn't worship them. And my mother was the same. So, and he was very logical. So I sort of followed that same track, that I was just logical. I guess that was God-given. And I'm always trying to improve every day. I always tell people that, I jokingly tell them, I'm the second nicest guy in the world. They say, who's number one? I said, I don't know, but it keeps me humble. It keeps striving. So
I like
one
that
of my
one.
goals is just
Say
really,
that one again. I don't know who's number one, but it keeps me humble.
so that's my goal, just to be better every day.
Yes.
And that's what I try to tell my kids. They do the same thing. They're trying to work hard. They're trying to be good people first, and be an intellectual or something else, a great athlete second. But first, be a good person.
Yes.
I got you. Herb, rapid fire. Give me an extraordinary challenge that you overcame in your career on the way up the corporate ladder. An extraordinary challenge that you thought was going to kill you. It wasn't going to work out. And you know what? You came out on the other side.
Now, that's a great question, but for me, it's always different because I look at everything in life as like, what is the worst thing that can happen? Okay, fine. So for the average person, you would call it an extraordinary challenge. For me, it was a challenge, but I didn't feel it extraordinary because I felt like the worst thing happened, I get fired. So what? I could go on with life because, I was young then. Mm-hmm. So I would say the biggest change I made in my life was when I moved from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Connecticut. I knew I wanted to do it. I didn't know basically where Connecticut was. I just knew I liked people and I felt like I can deal with people anywhere. So that was the biggest move in my life and the only time I was speechless when I actually got the job. Because I wanted it, but I guess I didn't know I would get it. And it was just such a great change, and that's when everything changed. So that was a challenge in the sense that I did it all on my own. I went and spoke to the human resource people. I spoke to auditors that were down from the headquarters in Connecticut, and I inquired, and I put my application in, and that's when everything changed.
Got it. We hear all the time about China as the next great power. What are two traits that you witnessed, Herb, when you were in China? What are two traits that you said are commendable or emblematic of the Chinese success?
I say one is the fact that we talk about communists as if such a terrible thing. When they want to do something, they get it done. We can't. You see how our government works. When they decided that, I didn't feel it when I was there because once you have economic freedom, you feel like you have freedom. And when I was there, the Chinese were thriving. But so they had the Olympics coming, and once they did it, the government decided that all of the clubs would be closed, all the streets would be clean. They built millions of trees. Everything was just done. Imagine the chaos we would have if we tried to do something like that. If they wanted a new business, they would first try it in Shanghai. If it worked, they would move it to the rest of the countries. But they could properly plan and do that. So that's one trait that I found that was a good trait that I wish we could do things that way. They get it done.
Results-based.
That's right. The second was that we had a driver that spoke English, and that was a little bit unfortunate because we argued all the time. The rest of you didn't argue. And everyone had a driver in China, so it was no big deal. And one day he said, we were discussing salaries. And I said, yes, you know how the Chinese people talk a lot and they know about each one's salary. He said, what's the problem? I said, well, you want to pay people higher money if they do a better job. He said, no, if they're doing the same job, they should make the same amount. I said, wow, that's kind of interesting. Then I said, yes, but what if the person's doing a better job? You should pay them more. He said, no, then you should fire that person that's not doing the same job. I had no answer to that. It's a different perspective to look at things.
Different perspective. Yes. This is final question. You should fire that person. Final question, Herb. One word answer to describe your mother.
Wow is probably the one word. Because she's not living anymore, but just wow. Wonderful lady.
One word answer to describe your father, your dad.
Super.
Wow and super. Super wow. That's right. Mom and dad, super wow. Well, C-suite executive, a man who's lived in 40 countries, has opened doors for many people, and seen a lot, achieved a lot. What final thoughts do you have for our audience at home and our audience here this night, Herb Parker?
I'd like to say that if anyone is really looking to succeed, I'm not trying to do a lot myself today, but I have a lot of contacts. If you want to reach out to me, you can catch me email herbertkentparker@gmail.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. Also, in trying to be better every day, as I say, I just have to make two statements. One is that I visited 40 countries. I didn't live on them. I lived in 5. And 2 is Harman, which has several brands. They have Harman Kardon. It started as Harman Kardon, but there's Harman. They have Harman Kardon, JBL, Mark Levinson, AKG. And just so those that don't know AKG, some of you are old enough to know that first We Are the World video, they wore AKG headphones, and Quincy Jones will only wear AKG headphones.
Herb Parker with the Steve. Well, I want to say thank you on behalf of the Matthews broadcast and those of us who look to individuals like you and find value in what your example has been. Trailblazers. There's no other word for it, and an invaluable part of our communities. So again, we want to thank you for being with us, and thank Ms. Hope Houston for joining me this evening, and come again. You got his contact information. You have got to reach out to this huge resource in our community to learn from this giant among executives that we can say is one of our own. So Hope.
Yes, sir.
Herb Parker, those of you in the audience have 2 things before we close this night. You cannot finish anything successfully until you start something confidently. To use the words of Herb Parker, get it done. Be results oriented. Second thing is there are 2 types of people in the world. Dreamers like all of those here this evening, and dream killers. Embrace the first and run like heck from the second. Right? Final thought this evening is think of everything that you're trying to achieve as if it's already done. Decide that it's done. Pray on it as if it's done. Envision it as if it's done. Plan it as if it's done. Affirm it, speak it as if it's done. Expect that it's done. Your expectation and your reality do indeed live at the same address. If you think today is going to be an awful day, typically, Herb, what kind of day is it?
It's a great day.
All day, right? And the final thing is celebrate it as if it's done. Oftentimes, we don't take a few minutes to celebrate those small victories that end up being a huge victory in the long run. This is Stan Matthews for Hope Houston and the one and only Herb Parker. Good night and God bless.
Hi, I'm Mayor Frank Moran of the great city of Camden, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. This holiday season, remember to shop urban and shop local, shop Camden.
This holiday season, remember, shop urban, shop local, and to shop Camden.
The Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and creative artists and enables them to tell their success story and get the new clients, strategic connections, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 500,000 subscribers, 500 Inner Circle strategic partners, and the Comcast Xfinity premium promotional channels, including the Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Lifetime, and the Hallmark Family Network. So step into the spotlight for business success right now and book your spotlight or legacy interview by calling us at 732-357-5701 or booking your reservation at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. Hi, this is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofit and community organizations that make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. on Comcast Xfinity Channel 190 and at the Matthews Broadcast YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support. Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and community leaders, and enables them to tell their success story and get the clients, connections, coaching, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 450,000 subscribers and 2,500 Inner Circle strategic partners on the Comcast Xfinity and our own online streaming platform. So step into the spotlight and profit from our platform today by calling us at 732-357-5701 or book your interview at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com.
Hi, I'm Samut Scott of Mama Yoga's Wellness Coaching, and I am profiting from the platform.
Hello everyone, I'm Tony Brooks from Brooks Wealth Strategies Group, and I'm profiting from the platform.
I'm Leslie Carter of 4E Newspaper, and I'm profiting from the platform.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherman Riggins from the Riggins Coaching Institute, and I'm profiting from the platform.
Hi, I'm Tina Drew of StateConnectedTech.com, and I am profiting from the platform.
Hi, I'm Bill Owens from Lucas Ford, and I'm profiting from the platform.
Hi, I'm Ralph Henderson of Resource Financial, and I am profiting from the platform.
Hi, my name is Brian Fleming of Spring Hill Financial Solutions, and I am profiting from the platform.
I'm Victoria Hepburn of VictoriaHepburn.com, and I am profiting from the platform.